and welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacey and I am a mature student studying with the Open University towards a degree in childhood and youth studies. So today I wanted to have a little chat with you about notes, because quite a few people have mentioned note taking and what my method is and things like that. So this is this year's, because I change up my note taking routine apparently every year, or every I guess every academic year. So let's move that out of the way, we don't need that right now. So actually I'll just quickly show you, this is how I set up my reader. So this is, I just put all the chapters in, because then it makes it easier just to go straight to whatever chapter it is that I'm looking for, and then I will put all of my sort of tabs down the side for things that I like, highlights and things like that. I do also link, when it comes to it, I link the chapter to the week, so I will put on the chapter in here what week that is studied, and I will do the same in my notes as well, just because it's not always week 1 chapter 1, for example. So that just makes things a lot easier when you're doing TMAs and EMAs and things like that. You can just jump to it, you have that information to hand. I find that one of the really time consuming things during TMAs and stuff that I end up getting really stressed about, so I like to make my life as easy as possible when it comes to things like that. So that's that one. When it comes to note taking for this academic year, I am doing a bit of an amalgamation of analog and digital. So I have been evolving my note taking for a really long time, but specifically the whole so the whole 3 years that I've been studying with the OU, I'm evolving and changing the way I do things to suit me best, and I'm going to try this out this year. I think I'm getting close to what my brain enjoys, let's put it that way, the most. So this year I've purchased this is a B5, I think it is. I want to say this is a B5 notebook. I just got it from Amazon. I think it's a brand called Reticey. I'll link it. And its pages are just like this. They've got a little date on it, and then I'm using these tabs here just to mark out, so it'll be week 1, week 2 going up. And I kind of want to use this a little bit like a commonplace book, in the sense that I'm just going to write things down, like quotes and things like that. Just scribble my notes in here, just whatever it is that I kind of just go crazy on it. This doesn't have to be neat, it doesn't have to be anything, just use it as a bit of everything. And then I won't be doing my TMAs from this, I don't think. So I think that this will just become kind of like a commonplace. And then I've set up a Notion template, which I'll show you in a second. And the Notion template is going to be where I take all of my information for my TMAs and my EMAs from. And it's going to be the place that is kind of like, I've called it a module organizer, because that's what it is for me. So it'll have like references in it. It will have information like for things like regularly used information, such as the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, like a hyperlink to that. It will have my summarized notes, so I will go through this and then summarize my notes digitally into my Notion. And what I hope to gain from that is a bit more active learning, but also just to make things easier and quicker to access, because that's what I found last year. it's just such a slog going through loads and loads and loads of notes. No matter how I do them, I just want to make it much more targeted towards my TMAs and what the actual points are and things like that. So this will be for my general notes and ponderings and things like that. And then any sort of like TMA specific summaries and things like that, that will go into my Notion template. And so, knowing the way my brain works, I've also purchased these dry erase index cards with some dry erase markers. Again, just from Amazon. I'll link them. I'll try and remember. If I forget, just remind me in the comments and I can link them. So these are just these. So this is like my hand for size. These are just like just dry erase on both sides, and these are like nice thin dry erase markers which have the little, they're magnetic and they have the little eraser on the end. So what I've found during TMA writing processes is that I go through a lot of paper and I want to try and reduce my paper consumption a bit, but B, I make lots of scribbles and doodles and things like that when I'm trying to link topics and make connections and things like that. So I thought this might be useful for that. So I can kind of, also I can use them if I've got certain topics, I can write it down, stick it up, and that can be like in my mind, I can have it, even just the title of it on here, stick it up on my monitor, it's there all the time, it's reminding me of what I'm looking for, just that kind of thing, and it's reusable. So that's what these are for. And then I also purchased these giant super sticky big notes. So these are like just giant yellow post-it notes, and like for size comparison, like they are huge. These are, again, I find myself like when I'm trying to make connections and things like that, I'm like trying to write down on post-it notes certain things and put them up and then move them around, and a lot of the time that's for like trying to work out where my paragraphs are going to go and things like that. So I never have enough space on the smaller ones, and I have a ton of different ones and they're just never big enough. So I bought these. These may or may not work, but I bought these just to give it a go and see if using these stuck up like near my desk or wherever it is I'm studying, I'm hoping that these can help sort of bring me back to it, because quite often I'll go off on a tangent, whereas if I've got something written down like this, like on something like this, and it's right there, it will hopefully bring me back to the point of it and I'm not going off on a tangent. So again, I don't know if these will work. These were just something that I thought of, and I thought, you know, I'm going to give it a go. So I will report back on these, let you know how they go, and go from there. Okay, so now let's go through the module organizer that I've created. Again, some of the things in here are obviously very sensitive information, like tutor details and stuff like that. I'm not going to be putting any of that information in. I'm just going to give you a really quick rundown of it, and I'll link the little shop link to it at the end in my description, and if you would like to use it, you're more than welcome to. You can make changes to it, things like that. So here we go. We have in Notion my module organizer. So here at the top I'll be putting my module details. So for me that is KE 206, making a difference, working with children and young people. Then it's always handy to have your tutor details somewhere, and I often have them in my diary and things like that. So I just wanted somewhere that was a bit more digital and I didn't have to have them on me all the time, because I don't really want to be giving people's information out if I'm showing something on my journal or whatever. I'm also going to add my PI number on here. But again, I didn't do that purely because that is something that's personal. You're not supposed to share that. So we have that at the beginning, and then here we go into the different things. So we've got module themes, glossary, weekly summaries, archive and summarise journals, that's journal articles, TMA, to-do lists and feedback notes, references list, useful resources and extra reading list. So here under module themes is, for example, in my last one, my last module E232, that was agency, social construction, voice and rights. It's very, very important to have those themes keep coming up in TMAs and EMAs, and it's just a handy little place to have that reminder basically that these are what they are. And then I also underneath in the toggle put down where they are, so where they're coming up. So for example, page 102 of the reader, week 3, session 3.4, radio interview. So wherever these themes come up, I'm going to be, well, obviously not these exact themes for this module that I'm doing now, but I'm going to be going through these and adding it in so that, again, when it comes time to do my TMAs and things like that, I've got something to refer to that's, it's a lot quicker and easier than going through lots of like highlights and notes and things. So again, that would be the same for every single one of those. Let's go back. So glossary, I find it really, really useful to have a glossary. And they, on my modules certainly, I've always had a glossary, and I only found that out, I think was it last year or the year before. So for me, I think last year I printed it out. Again, I'm trying not to use as much paper, so I'll be copy and pasting it and popping it in here for this module, and that will give you all of the different words and things. And this again, getting those words correctly used into your TMAs and EMAs are super helpful and help your tutor see that you are engaging with the materials properly. Here I've got my weekly summaries. So let's see. So like for week 1, you would go in and it brings you to another page. I would have done all my notes. This is where I come back. This is the active learning part, and this is where I will be summarising all of my notes. Again, with the thought of the TMA in mind. So I've got the TMA question in mind when I'm doing this, and I'm putting down all of my notes that are relevant here. And you can do this in lots of different ways. You can do bulleted list, numbered list, toggled list. You can add another page. You could do different headings. So you can create that however you want to do it. And then we go to archive and summarise journals. So there's a lot more journal reading, journal articles, things like that I'm reading now, being at level 2, and I'm sure that that's only going to increase going up to level 3. And another reason for doing this is I am very aware that level 2 to level 3 is probably quite a big jump, and I want to have all of my systems in place, practiced, honed, organised, so I feel more confident in them before I even get to level 3. So here we go with, I've just put an example here. So this is Carlson, and then the title, so you said home, but we don't have a house, children's lived rights and politics in an asylum centre in Sweden, children's geography. So basically this is it. It's also linked, so I've got a hyperlink on here as well, so I can go straight to that article and it's right there. I don't have to go searching for it. Again, this is about speed and ease for things like TMAs or any kind of referencing. I also have put in tags because again, this is for when I'm looking at going back to the module themes, these are the module themes, and if any of those are relevant within the journal article, I want to ensure that I've got what it is that's related to it here. Again, you can change these. They don't have to be the tags that you use. So you could go into here and you can change them. You don't have to keep them as that. And then obviously you've got the summary here, so you can summarize the article here, just very briefly, nothing huge. You can even turn this into something like a new page or whatever, but I just, at the moment, I want to be very succinct with those things. And then here we have the TMA to-do list and feedback notes. So I have for each TMA, so TMA 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the EMA, you can click into it. I'll have a to-do list here. And then once I've finished the TMA and I've received my feedback, this is where I will be making notes here about what it is that I can improve on for next time. So that hopefully will be, again, I've got it all here. I can even access it via my phone because I have the Notion app on my phone. So if I am thinking of something and I'm like, oh, I need to make sure I do X, Y, or Z, and I'm out and about and I don't have my laptop with me, I could just pop it in here. Or if I'm thinking, oh, I wonder, like, what if I do this, would that make my would that sort of apply to the feedback that I've been given? And I'm out and about, I can go straight to it. I don't have to search for my TMA. I often print out my TMAs, but I don't need to in this instance. So then I have a references list. So this is where I'm going to link every single reference that I need to use. So again, the tags here are like it'll be reader or online or journal, that kind of thing. So I'll know exactly what the reference is. But this will be where I'm keeping them here, making sure that I've got them all. Again, I can just copy and paste and things like that straight into my TMAs. I haven't got to stress too much about them. Useful resources is, like I mentioned earlier, this is, for example, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. So for my module, I use that a lot. And so I have hyperlinked it here. I have access to it. I can go straight to it. You can put as many or as few as you like in here, but if it's something that you find useful, oftentimes I found that there's something useful and there's no obvious place to put it, so it ends up going in my notes, and I find myself searching for ages for these things. So I just wanted somewhere central to put all of this. And then I have an extra reading list. So sometimes in modules, your module information will give you extra reading if you want to do it. So they'll give you journal articles, they will give you, so it's not required reading, but it's just something a bit extra. They will recommend books quite often, like for example, the books I have here are Miseducation and Pedagogy of the Oppressed, and neither of those were on my must read list, my required reading, but both of those, and actually many more, I need to update this heavily because I was making it as a template. I didn't want to put too many in. This list is going to be huge and I'm never going to get through it during my degree probably, but I can come back to this and work my way through them because these are the things that I actually like. I've got both of those books and I want to read them, so it's kind of like a to-do list, if you like, a TBR list specifically for my degree and my interest. So that's all of it. I've tried to make it as simple as possible but as comprehensive as possible, no doubt I will be adding things. Like I said, I'm adding my PI number, but I haven't popped it on here. But yeah, I plan on sort of doing what I can with it, and if I do make any updates, I will share those with you, so that if they're useful to you and you have purchased this, then you can do the same if you want to, because it's completely, what's the word, customizable to whatever your needs are. But yeah, I hope you like that, and I hope you'll find it useful. I think this is going to be life-changing. That sounds really dramatic, but I think it will actually be life-changing in the sense of ease and things like that. As long as I keep up with it, this will be super useful, and it will hopefully stop those times when I'm doing my TMAs and I'm in a rush and I want to just get on with the actual writing of it, and like you've got to find this specific reference or whatever. I can do that, or a specific word, and if I've got brain fog or whatever and I can't remember it, or I'm just struggling to remember it, I can just go to my glossary and hopefully it'll be there, that kind of thing. So yeah, I know I just spoke really fast and I do apologise. I am really struggling to slow down actually when I'm filming, so that's something I will work on. But yeah, it's just me at the moment. I'm in like go mode and I'm just struggling to slow down. Okay, hopefully you found that useful. Like I said, I will link everything I can in the description box, and I did just want to take a moment to say thank you so much to everybody who has sent me messages and said how happy they are that I'm back and things like that. If you have anything that you want me to do a video on, please let me know. I'm very happy to do what I can. If it's something that's within my capabilities or within my remit, however you want to put it, I don't want to talk about things that I'm not confident about specifically. If it's something to do with another module or something to do with the Open University that I don't have any experience with, because I don't think that's fair on you. I'm not just gonna talk rubbish, and I can only speak from my experience. So but other than that, I'm happy to talk about pretty much anything. Yes, so that's it for this week. I hope you find it useful. I hope you're all getting on. If your modules have opened and you've started already, good on you. I'm starting today. My module opened on Thursday, but I've had a weekend that was full of plans and things, and I wanted to get this video out first and make sure that I wasn't putting anything in this module organizer before I show it to you. So I begin today. And if you have already begun, well done. If you're planning on beginning, well done. And I'll see you all again next week. You take care. Bye.